helping you to be better, not bitter, helping you to live in the positive, inspiring, uplifting, and impactful. Get Empowered covers topics and real-life situations that are often not discussed. Get Empowered will seek to help you find a reason, not an excuse. Get Empowered provides laughter and encouragement with positive interaction. You can also join the conversation. No subject is too heavy for the team and knowledgeable guests. Relevant, practical, and to the point. That's Get Empowered on the Nation Station every Tuesday evening from 8 to 10. Live in the positive on Get Empowered.
Living in the positive.
This is your Nation Station, DBS Radio.
Well, good evening, Dominica. Good evening to you from Castlebruce to Salisbury. From, I guess I started Castlebruce, right? Well, we usually say from Scotshead to Capuchin. That's what we do. Yeah, so good evening to you from Scotshead to Capuchin, from Castlebruce to Salisbury, and everywhere in between on this lovely Whitey Kubali. It's Tuesday. It's the second day of the month of September. So we're in the 9th month of the year 2025. My name is Michael Jacques, and it's so good to be with you tonight on Get Empowered. We have a very special program tonight as we seek to empower you, educate you, and just enlighten you within, with what's happening within the virtual space, with education these days and all of the other things that happen, and just the power of this little thing that you have. I have a little one too, and a lot of us have that, and the power of it and all what we could do, and our children are empowered with it, and all what we could do. So that's what we're going to be dealing with. But yeah, just a little bit of our theme song. We will skip a song of the week tonight. I will be with you until 11. Get Empowered will go from 8 to 10. And I'm happy to have all of you that's tuned in, not only here on the lovely Wati Kubuli, but those of you tuned in outside of Dominica, from everywhere, from as close as Guadeloupe, Martinique, to our north and south, and as far as who knows where. I guess some of you are still up in London, England. I know someone who stays up for a little while in England just to get a little bit of the program. So good evening to you, and some of you might be morning time if you are on the other side of the earth, like in Japan and Singapore and this part of there and China. Good morning to you. So it's good to have all of us locked in. I have a guest in studio. I'll introduce him, I'll say a little bit in a while. We were just having some interaction behind the scenes, and I'm excited about what my eyes begin to open wide as to some of the things he said and what we could do. Let me just let you know we are on DBS Facebook page, so that's happening live. Also on DBS YouTube channel. So if you want to see, because I'll just encourage you, if you can access that, access this, because Nicole's going to show us some things. Actually, you're going to literally be seeing things. And so it's going to be a lesson, a lesson within the virtual space. So it's not just hearing. You would have the privilege. Well, you'll see me and you'll see him, but you'll also be able to connect with something. So that will be happening shortly. All right. So let's take a little more of Nasio in the evening time, 5 minutes after 8 o'clock. Forgot to give you our tagline, let not your heart be troubled, but that's not our tagline. Our tagline is don't get bitter, get better. Yeah? On Get Empowered, we want to help you get better. On Get Empowered, we help you find a reason, not an excuse. You could throw yourself an excuse and say, me and them thing with them children there, me and that kind of technology, me and that kind of stuff. No, you learn it because it's with you. I had a complaint, not a, something that I had to refer to one of the providers last week, and they gave me a number to call. I was given a number to call, and when I called that number, man, someone answered, and she said, I'm your virtual whatever. And then she gave me her name, and she sounded very, and gave me some instruction to follow without interacting with a human being. The people got all the information, and the next day they were at my house fixing my problem. And I'm like, what a world, what a space, So that's the reality of our time. We can't hide from it. You know what I mean? We can't play like it's not there. It's right there, and it's right there in your living room. Even right now, I can interrupt or can even make something play in your house. I could just say, Alexa, play DBS radio on TuneIn, and Alexa will. I was having a conversation in my living room with a couple, and we just said Alexa. And in the conversation, because the young man was he's into AI and all of that, and the thing came on. My box came on, and I was like, that's kind of interesting. So that is it. And some persons say, well, are they listening to my conversation? Are they spying on us? We will maybe explore that in another conversation. All right, but tonight we want to look specifically at the things within the virtual space and platforms of education, and also the social media platform. And I have in studio with me Nichols Dennis. So, hey, your mic is open. Yeah. So talk to us. How are you doing?
Hi, Pastor Jacques. Good evening to everybody listening on DBS Radio Airwaves. My name is Nichols Dennis. I am the web administrator. Web administrator at DBS Radio. My original title, I think, is webmaster / administrator / social developer. So that's like 3 titles in one. I do work in the technical department from time to time, and we try to give the audience or the listeners of DBS Radio as much as an interactive view of DBS Radio from our technical standpoints for radio and for social media. I've been here practically for about 3 years. I started in January of 2022. It's been a ride. I don't want to say it's been an easy one, because there's a lot of demands and requirements when it comes to broadcasting, especially when you're working for the nation station. And it's been a role where most times I really have to ask myself if I'm really able to keep up with this, but I've been trying my best to actually be as dedicated to the role as possible. I will tell you, myself, I've always tried to focus on growth in whatever role that I go into. A lot of times people may feel that I know almost everything about a specific topic, but that's not exactly the case. I usually try to find the answer. So I remember I was working for an employer prior, and he used to tell me, I need an answer for something. I need to know, do you have it? And I used to say at that point in time, no, but I'll find out for you. Okay. So it used to be that approach I took on at a very early age, and I've been changing that approach gradually to find the answers for problems. So if it seems like complex, find a simpler solution for it. Because a lot of people, when you work for them, they want you to give them an answer in the simplest term. Is it working or is it not working? They don't really want the tech jargon. And this is where I come in most of the times, when I try to give people references to things that similar to what they already know. So in tonight, I know you asked me to come here and speak about virtual learning platforms, artificial intelligence, social media, because I have been working in this space for some time. And I feel people need to understand that the digital space is not something to be too fearful of. I mean, a lot of people hear about AI, or some people hear about internet and computers, and they be like, that's not what I had when I was growing up.
But if I should give you, as you mentioned that, when the internet thing came up and you had the Gmail or the Hotmail, for example,
Yeah.
and all of that kind of thing, the whole idea of Hotmail,
Mm-hmm.
it scared a lot of people, including myself.
Really?
And I had to travel to Singapore.
Mm-hmm.
And during, I think 2006 or about there, that's when because I was going to be leaving my family, and be going away, I didn't have an email account. I didn't have anything like that because I just, as you hear these things and it's like, oh, that's devilish and that's this and that's that and that's the other. And I'm like, and then the whole thing about Hotmail, it was associated
Because
with...
if probably hell, hot.
Not hot in the sense of hell,
Okay,
but
okay.
hot in the sense of sensual.
Oh,
Like, like
provocative.
provocative things, sensual stuff. And I stayed away from that, and stuff like that. And another thing happened to me. One time I was doing a study, because as a pastor, I try to teach the people I shepherd on everything, every possible thing.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know something about sex, for example. And I typed in sex, within the
Search engine?
Yeah. And bro, things just fly up on the screen. And I was like,
I can imagine. All right.
seriously, things just came up. And I was like, well, if my wife come and she might think I'm looking at stuff,
I
not
understand.
and I tried to shut down a door, and the more I close, the more things
That
open.
popped up.
I was like, what in the world is that? So that got me kind of,
Yeah. You see, when you engage in a search engine to make a query, the specific information you enter, while it does give you a response on that, it also identifies that's maybe a particular interest to you. So it will reference everything else that's recent based on that specific query you made. So if you search like you made a search for like intercourse or sexual intercourse, it will reference images of this, different platforms that do this, different areas within your local area. I will just keep giving you more and more information, because it will say to yourself, that is your current interest. I'm going to get everything relatable to this, not just what you asked for. And even right now, in modern times, we have this happening. It's not only going to give you queries or search engine with information, it'll give you about subscriptions. It'll tell you about people that could be making like possible connections to you, because the search engine is usually connected to your email. Your email usually has your age,
Right.
your gender.
Right.
So it will scan these bits of information, say male, 25, 35, and it will give you information based on those criteria and reference it back to you. And you'll be like, how is it giving me these particular things? Why is it targeting me? You feel like you're being targeted.
Yes.
But it's already scanned all the information you have.
Wow.
Because you already provided some information. So when you use platforms like Google or probably MSN, sometimes Yahoo search, and you're already logged into an account which you already have with them, it usually gives you those type of queries. So it can free you off sometimes.
Right. So it will. So it access, because that's why it's a web.
Yeah.
They call it the World Wide Web.
Yeah. Giant
So-
spider.
Right. So it flexes and get into all of your information within quick time,
Yeah.
and it creates a history for you.
Well, yeah. The thing about the web, I think it's been categorized as each of the connections within the web is actually something that's connected via the network path. So let's say every website goes online. We have a thing called bots, and bots usually go out, and every new web URL or website that's published, made public, it will then scan all the information on the landing page, which we call home page, and of that website to identify where it's from, who it is, what's it about, and then it will go back and put it in its database.
Okay.
So then whenever you make a query to say, okay, I found information about that in 2 months ago on this website, this is probably what you're looking for. So it, like most of the search engines generally just go out there all the time looking for information. I think when it relates to people that want to do searches out there and they want to know things, I think one of the hardest things people have is to get the right answer for what question they're asking in the search engine. And that usually comes basic on what you enter. So when you enter in something, you don't want to give it like a paragraph. You're going to say, I'm looking for how to cook cookies. And just say, I want to cook cookies, I want to cook it chocolate chip cookies, you'll be very specific.
Okay.
So you say like, I want to cook cookies, comma, and I want to add this type of ingredients, nutmeg, whatnot, comma, and then you probably say, based on whatever traditional cooking style, and then it will probably give you a search that's much more proactive than what you actually just say. I want a cooking recipe.
Okay.
You know, because
so the more general you are, is the wider it goes.
Yes, the more specific. We call it we call it iteration. So you whatever form of identification markers you put within the text field, which is or input box, within the search bar, that will identify the type of content you will receive. And it's the same thing with artificial intelligence when we get into that discussion, where when you're trying to request certain information from the AI chat, you want to be very specific about what it gives you. Because for AI to give you back a response, it must follow guidelines. Okay. It has very specific guidelines for what we call prompting. Okay. So you hear people say about, okay, did you prompt it properly? Did you ask it properly? Because most people try to use like an AI chat right now, or like a search engine. Like, I want to know the history of Dominica. You know, but what history of Dominica? Because it does give you a whole list of history. Right. You know, it won't be very specific. I want to know when Dominica gained independence. Okay. I want to know what things were changed within that time. Mm-hmm. You know, what laws were introduced. So we have all these different factors that we have to put into play. Okay. All right, but we'll get into that.
All right. Oh, wonderful. So that was basically intro. So you are webmaster / administrator /
social
developer.
Yeah.
Okay. And which one is they're distinct? I would want to think. So which one to you is more fun?
I like to just classify myself as web administrator. I don't like to say the webmaster. Okay. I feel it's a little bit over the top. You know, I don't want to say to myself like, you know, I'm the master of something. Okay. I probably do that to God only. All right. Yeah. But I consider the fact that being experienced in the field for probably over 10 years, I would say that I have the ability to have that knowledge of that title, but I just consider myself as web administrator. The social development part is usually me just finding applications or means of integrating certain functionality that we require. It's not to say that I'm an influencer and don't create content. That's not what I do. I'm not a social marketer. So if you don't understand something on the social media platform or what the platform does, and you say you want it to do something specific, I would have to find a solution for it.
Okay. Should one be scared of the whole that virtual world that we have now? Should one be scared of it, and or how best should we now adapt to it in that sense?
I would not say that we should be scared, because generally we've been engrossed in this virtual world for some time. Okay. As you mentioned Alexa a while ago, you've had Alexa probably for like 5-6 years now. Probably saying, Alexa, turn on the radio. And right now we have a lot of iPhone users growing in the Caribbean, as we didn't have that before. And they say like, hey Siri, turn on the radio. You know, so it's been something around us for some time. We had small bits of technology from the time when you had probably your personal calculator, or if you had like your first iPad, your tablet. You cannot think about anything in your home. Anything that does an automated task that is something repetitive, it has some form of technology being used into it. Okay. Now with the online platforms, they are just there as a way to communicate. They try to communicate you with another individual or you with themselves. but they all were just requesting information. Now, what is very specific for people need to understand is what type of information you're allowed to go out on the internet and how much of it. Because some people feel like, you know what, I want to put like all my information, my name, my phone number, my date of birth, where I live. That's not really the best practice.
Okay.
You should reserve some facts of information because there's a great calling right now where people have identity theft. And a lot of people are stealing people's identity, mirroring who you are, because they can say, I'm from this person from Dominica, and you never had a profile in probably Italy or Spain, but all your information which you uploaded on the internet or social media platform became available to somebody else because they say, I can just copy all of this, take your picture, and just impersonate you. So like social media impersonation is a very big thing right now.
Wow. Okay.
So it's a growing issue. And it used to have the point where you could validate with your identification, but they're trying to make it now into subscription services because platforms are seeing the need for people to be verified.
Oh, wow. Wow. I guess there's so much in this to explore. I came into the studio and I'm looking at you there. There's a monitor there.
Yeah.
And you had stuff on the screen here, and you've also set up yourself that everything you're going to be saying,
Yeah.
we're going to actually have it so people can actually see
see-
some. You're going
see
to
how
share
the preview.
screen and all kind of thing. And I'm like, yes, sir. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you put us side by side, but
Well, we do this in DBS.
all sort of integration.
We do this in DBS already. One of the key things I really try to do when we do this presentation of our live streams in the studio is to give people a feel like they're within the space with us.
Okay.
I try not to make us look too scattered, try to make it look natural, flowing, and not look crowded.
Okay.
So I can see you're on one side, I'm looking at you, you're looking at me. I mean, you turn that direction to look at the screen, but I'm right in front of you, so you don't
right,
really
right.
need to.
Yes, I just like to see the screen.
Yeah.
And I want to see myself too.
Yeah. So we try and do this a lot for DBS
Right.
to actually engage with what the people want, because I think one of the most important points of being engageable with the social media is showing the people that we are here to interact with them and get what they're saying. So this is one of the key points. So, but if you wanted me to start into the core of what you were asking me earlier about the virtual learning platforms, I did do some little review earlier about this.
But what is the virtual platform? Let's look at the broad thing first, and then we will go into the specific. When you talk about virtual space, what are we really talking about? The virtual
a virtual space would be an environment. If you call it a room, an environment, it's an online system. It provides tools, resources, learning and interaction, anything where you feel you can get additional knowledge at a quicker pace. Sorry, than the traditional means. Like normally, if you wanted to find some information and you were home, you'd probably have to go to the public library back in the times.
Right.
Or you probably have to go down and go by someone, a historian, to get some information about certain topics. But in a digital space or a virtual platform, all this information can be indexed. It can be referenced while you're doing a search query, or it can be pulled up from some form of a resource that's been archived. It could be in a PDF form, it could be in a document, it could be a PowerPoint. All this information are now available to you at your request. So virtual platforms generally are environments built with information for referencing. It have other validations where you can say, I want to interact with somebody to communicate better through a virtual platform. So it can be a one-on-one. It could be like for you to have a tutoring platform like a LMS, which would be what we call a learning management system. Or it could be something where it's just like a video meeting, as you would get with Zoom, or you would actually have some type of conversational type of discussion with that individual, whether it be about business, personal, family, entertainment. So it's usually these platforms are built for communication purposes from a long distance. So think of it as having a new modern way of a pen pal.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, because I'm listening to you, and I'm thinking when I came from my study, and books was the big thing.
Yeah.
So everything was books, and we read encyclopedias, concordances, dictionaries. So when I was living with my parents, I would occupy her table. So I had this thick book called a concordance. I had this other one and I had all of these reference books, to do my study and to prepare sermons and all of that. Now I have my laptop and I am accessing the same thick book, Strong Concordance, because they have now made it, into an app or whatever it is. So I can access it on the laptop, the dictionary, everything by just moving my mouse, getting there and all of that. So that is what you're referring to when you talk about virtual space.
Your laptop is your personal virtual or digital environment. I won't say virtual, but it's like a digital environment. So you can use your laptop or your personal device. Your phone mostly is also a virtual environment. Everything is met in that environment to help you do certain tasks repetitively or to access certain tasks that you would not have to do by going to multiple areas.
Okay.
So if you want to call, if you want to look up like directory, you would have everybody listed in your directory. You have emergency contacts, you have this. Then you want to do calculations, you have a calculator. If you want to do other forms of your entertainment, you want to look for entertainment, you can go to YouTube right now on your phone.
Yeah.
You can do it on your computer. So if you want to go back to archives of photographs of things that happened from long, you'd have to go for a photo album. You'd have to look for a digital catalog. You just go straight for your laptop, my documents or my pictures, and they say all the pictures you dumped there. Backing up of your files and now straight on the computer for business purposes. So it have a lot to understand that this environment is just made for you to have more access to more things at your own pace or your own request.
So it's bringing all what we were accustomed to in little boxes.
Yeah.
In that sense, simple stuff like that. But we were accustomed to it. So like I was accustomed to my concordance. I was concordance to all of this thing. I was accustomed to having that. And I was sharing, with a friend whilst we were on the logos because he was looking for that. And I was saying to him, you can get it all within, your search engine. Just put in whatever
percentage
and get what you want. So in that, when you explain it that way, it takes the scary part for me away. It says to us, these are the things you used to do, but they have just now, if I should use the word, condense it, merge it, create it in a way that it's not bulky, it's right around you, it's easily accessible, and all of that stuff. Because can you imagine in the public library? I don't know, I use the public library.
Yeah.
Going to school. You had to go to the public library.
Yeah, I did too when I was younger.
Part of life was public
library. Yeah. After the sessions, renting up, taking a book home, reading the book, bring it back.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And now you have public library, you have all kind of stuff happening,
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So that's, in that, explain it that way takes away the fear factor, and makes you, okay, all right, it's safe. So that's the explanation for the virtual space.
Yeah.
Now within that space we have various platforms.
Yeah.
And we have learning platforms.
Yes, we do.
So could you tell us about the learning platforms? And
well, most of the people that probably came engaged with a lot of the learning platforms was during the COVID period.
Okay.
You were now restrictive to say to yourself, how do you allow your child or students to continue their education? Because education usually takes place in the classroom.
Right.
That I think probably was an open moment for a lot of families and parents to understand that the learning doesn't stop, or the learning should be just focused when the child goes to school. We now at a period in time where parents have the ability to be a lot more involved with their children's learning process, but they themselves have to become a bit more self-aware of what's available to them. So I think one of the first ones which was really highlighted was Google Classroom.
Google Classroom. Okay.
So Google Classroom allowed a lot of educators or facilitators, instructors, teachers to really communicate with their students about how they can follow the coursework.
Okay.
There were other platforms which used for schools, but a lot of them we don't really prioritize here. I think there's like Moodle, there's Zoom, virtual classrooms. Well, we do use it for more the adult learners. There's like a Jamboard. There is, let me see, ABC Mouse. I have a few. There is the Khan Academy.
You put them up? No, not yet.
No, I didn't have it in this.
Okay, no problem.
In this, I do. Let me just double check here. Yeah, I do have it here. So let me just send this across. Try and control 2 computers one time. All right.
Okay.
So you can see here. I put it bigger so you can see it. So like we have this type of platforms here. I try to categorize it based by the age range.
Okay.
So I can see by ages 5 to 10. And I was trying to put it by low cost. So you have like Khan Academy for kids. It has early literacy, math, social skills. There are functional activities and books, no ads or in-app purchases.
Okay.
So what that means is you utilize the platform for free.
Okay.
It doesn't restrict you whatsoever, saying that you have to pay or you have to see an ad for it to be able to gain more access to it. There is a platform called e-learning for kids.
Okay.
Where you can do math, science, reading, and more. Over 350 interactive lessons available in multiple languages, so between English and French. Growing up, I think a lot of people watched Sesame Street, and they were very engaged with what we call PBS Kids. They now have their own learning platform, which is accessible completely for free to help younger generation of students between ages of 5 and 10 to excel or to become more cognitive to certain factors when it comes to education.
Okay.
So you have those areas there. So now these areas are now for the home-based training and self-development.
Okay.
The schools and the probably Ministry of Education have their own internal based systems which they would allow schools to have access to, and you can do your own monitoring of your students by logging in and seeing their actual growth patterns for their grades and their performance during their school term. It's very keen to be focused to follow through every week of your child's performance. If you miss a week, go back and look at it. Go to the teacher, ask a little for a session, print out the report, follow what they actually did, and ask them questions about it. You have to be very vigilant.
You're speaking of in Dominica?
In Dominica specifically. You have to be very vigilant with the actual growth of your child during this type of training, or at least viewing.
But would one say, though, not to cut you off, because we're talking about being vigilant and being diligent and all of that. These are words that require time and all of that. Would you say, I might be outside of the conversation, but creating some context there, would you say that is now making, putting greater demands on parents' time, because your monitoring now has to, you use the word diligent. You have to be so much at it because of all of the other distraction.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Most of these platforms come with notifications systems, so you can either get email notifications, you can get notifications to your device once you have an account that's associated with your child's account. One of the things I think parents probably skip, for some parents that don't know, the children usually have email addresses provided to them for their what is their performance. So the teacher will send out work for them or whatnot for the performance. If you feel your child says, I don't have homework today, you could set up a way where you could forward a copy of the same email that the teacher may send to that platform to follow through to see, okay, I just got an email from your teacher, so you can get it on your phone, because almost everybody uses their phone for the email already. You can say, okay, I'm getting a copy of the email. That any email that child gets, I get a copy of it, and in that I'm seeing that you actually have work. So you've been telling a fib. So I know you have homework today. So just checking this at the end of the day is not to say like you're going to be on their backs,
policing,
saying like, you do this, did you do that, but you need to actually monitor this. You know, you need to actually say to yourself, I'm going to take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It doesn't take that much to see what actually was done for the day.
Okay.
And then asking a few questions.
All right.
You know, that's what I'm thinking.
But you're saying, but that would be what the Google classroom within the Ministry of Education down here, or is there a name for it?
Well,
Outside of-
Google Classroom does have some notification systems in. Almost every learning platform has notifications built in. I don't know the specific one how the Ministry of Education is using right now, so I don't want to speak on it.
Right.
I'm not a instructor or facilitator within the education sector, so I don't want to say that. But I would believe they have some form of email notification.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. As a parent, if your child's getting email notifications, you could have the ability to have the emails being copied to yourself.
Okay.
So I think that's one of the things. If you feel it's not already built into the platform, because I know if you have a Gmail account, but I know they have their own internal emails from the education ministry, you could have that email be forwarded, set up to be forwarded to you. So that's one request parents could make, possibly through the schools or through the Ministry of Education, to say, okay, I want to also get a copy of everything that is sent out.
Okay.
Just make sure that they're doing their work. Because there was a period where I was doing a tutoring session during the summer through the Caribbean Digital Transformation Project, and one of the parents came to me on one of the mornings and said to me, why hasn't my son gotten any, what is he doing? We don't know how he's performing, because I was teaching web development for the summer. And I'm saying, well, when his son comes in, he wants to stay on his phone and play video games. And I'm telling him, like, pull off the phone. But I'm not a teacher. I'm not your parent. So I can't beat you. I cannot demand you to pull it off. I mean, I can instruct you, if you don't do this, well, then you're not going to get the prize.
Right.
So I'd have to tell them something in that regard to give them some form of incentive. So then when the parent came, I said, well, your son has the ability to even build your platform for your business, because I think she had like a food handler business or whatnot. I said, I can show him how to build a store for you so you can take orders. And she's like, he can do all that and he do take it serious? I said, yes. And I think that is when he actually did a little more proactive role in actually trying to do something, because his mother was not seeing an incentives that he could be part of something that earns them revenue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So we have the platforms, the learning platform, and you mentioned you flash some on the academy and all of that stuff. You have that. So
yeah.
Let's go.
So let me just switch this back, because I'm switching for two computers. Okay, so right here we have it's still kind of academy again, but we have this one called code.org. So if you're into having your children doing a little bit of computer learning, you could on computer science coding curriculum.
That's a higher age now you're looking at.
Yeah, so if this is 10 to 16,
right.
There are these platforms. As you see, Duolingo is free with a premium, where you can actually pay a subscription to get additional fees. It's very small, but it's highly recommended. And there's Open Learning Initiatives platform for college level courses for ambitious teens. Mm-hmm. So as you can see here, we identified these bases based on the review of how well it has engaged with students at those age ranges. If we go to something here, let me see. Here we talk about the advantage of free and low cost platforms and global usage trends. I was just showing a graph between 2019 to 2024 to show how 40% of global students using free learning platforms at least weekly.
40%.
Yeah. And we have a growth in platform adoptions of 300% since 2020.
Wow.
So that's the amount of online platforms that have become available to education. As
300%.
education, 300% in growth in this.
Wow.
We have 85% of teachers recommended supplemental online training. So as opposed to the in-classroom training, they see the value in having them doing additional work when they go home, either for CSEC or for CAPE or for whatever form of higher learning.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it might not be as demanding for the younger generation, but for the higher learning ones, it might be.
All right.
So I am going to switch back to you. Now, I'm going to identify just one thing. I have a son. I have a 3-year-old. And one of the things that was concerning to me was his lack of speech. He's not speaking as yet. So I started doing research about this. So it was me trying to look into the fact of what are the reasons between delayed speech, what could be helped, learn about brain plasticity and how it develops with the brain, because the brain has to reach certain milestones at certain points in time. And I said to myself, okay, I'm going to try something a little bit more interactive. Now, I don't have the money that a lot of these major people in the US or the other countries have, where they can spend and say, you know what, I'm going to send it to a professional speech therapist.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend like $200-$300 a month. I'm going to buy this training software for like $49 a month, or possibly about $300 or $400 a year. So I said to myself, okay, how can I help my son? So I sat down and I asked AI.
You asked AI.
So I went to AI. I said, okay, my son is 3 years old. He's a toddler. He's not speaking. He can say certain words. He can repeat certain words. He's very attentive, but I don't know why. So you know what? Let me ask. Now, mind you, I did get a professional recommendation from a doctor prior. So what I decided to do was to build him an online platform. So let me see if I can just bring this up.
Your 3-year-old. You're building.
I built an online platform for my 3-year-old son. I'm going to switch it on the screen, so we'll go away. Let's see if I can put this here. And yeah, it's reaching here. So I'm going to flip it across.
Okay.
And yeah, so this is like learning, helping children.
No, before you, what you're showing me there now, our folks are seeing it, right?
Yeah, your folks will be seeing this at home.
At everywhere. So let me just see. Hope people, if you're saying, let me know. Send me a message.
All right. So,
all right.
I built this.
All right.
I think I typed one prompt in an AI.
Okay.
And I asked it to give me a detailed description of what I want to build, and I said why I want to build it. So I don't know if it will transfer the audio, because this is one of the things I wanted to send across. We'll see. So I'm going on. Okay, with that, I need to go to here. This is NDI. Go on this for the radio. Can you put up computer port 2? Computer port 2. Computer. That's
okay. Computer port 2.
Right.
Yeah.
So this should go out live on you. So let me click.
Hello, Elijah. Ready for fun learning?
Okay, it coming through, but it not coming through clearly. Okay, so
let's try again.
Let me go home. Let me go child mode. Okay.
Great to see you, Elijah. What sounds interesting today?
Okay. It playing like a short, So okay, so we'll take out the audio. I won't use it, but I think maybe they could hear it from, or you can hear it from where I am. So I'm gonna log out. So this is the platform. So literally, I can type the name of the child. You can watch it on your screen. I will make it a little bigger so you can see it. Right here from the platform, I use the AI to do this. So if I'm going to name the child Jacques, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to click.
Jane.
Oh, okay. Let me click start now. So I'll type the name Jane, Jacques, and click next.
Pick an avatar that represents you.
So it asked me to pick an avatar to represent me. So I'm going to click this one.
Pick your age.
I'm going to say free.
Choose things you love.
I'm going to say animals, colors, cars, toys. And click next.
Choose what fits you best.
And I will choose here, I use pictures and gestures.
What helps you learn?
Looking at pictures, listening to songs, I'm going to say all of this.
Pick what feels right.
Usually a child's like attention span between 5 to 10 minutes. So I'm going to click this.
Tell us about sounds and lights.
I like soft lights. I don't like nothing too aggressive. And we'll click start learning.
Welcome back, Gene. Let's explore together.
So right here, this is a platform built with AI for a 3-year-old toddler. And how much did it cost me? $0. But I built this because I felt to myself I wanted a way to help my son with speech. And every time you click something, it reiterates what his name. So it keeps saying his name. So to let him reinforce him to understand that I'm speaking to you.
Okay, make it personal.
Make it personal. So I see here it has perfect for Gene, it has the colors.
Gene, let's learn about colors.
So it says, Gene, let's learn about colors. Tap on a color.
Gene, this is red.
This is.
Gene, this is blue.
So you see, it gives me that every time it mentions the color, it tells it to you. So I can change it to any child's name.
Let's explore together.
Animals, foods, emotions, family. I actually spent like, I don't know, $1,500 ordering stuff from Amazon last year to like put on the wall, like posters and everything. I bought like flashcards and all those things. And I end up using this more because it helps him now understand that he can tap the screen and just be interactive, playing with it and learning for his own self. Sometimes he gets a little annoyed and he just skip through, but I mean, it's something working in progress. So this is one form of a platform that you can have using AI to build.
That's for young.
That's for young. You can make more advanced ones. I feel there are a lot of people doing advanced AI development in building platforms.
Okay, Nicole, some AI. People are hearing about AI.
Okay.
And we just start to say AI, and folks is
asking what is AI?
Right. What really? What?
Okay.
Say AI. Well, let's get there.
Okay. So if I'm going to step back, AI is short for the term artificial intelligence,
right?
And with the form of artificial intelligence, people try to understand what is it. Is it someone sitting on a hill that have a control of everything? And does they're spying on me? Is it some new form of midway that on the internet?
No.
Actually, artificial intelligence, you can reference it as a computer program or a computer system that has been fed a large amount of information.
Okay.
So it's like the Dominican Library times a billion.
Okay.
I won't say a million, just say times a billion. So you can have AI having a billion sets of information or reference books. So when you usually hear it sometimes, if you pay attention to the news, you hear OpenAI or ChatGPT 2B or 3B, and they'll what is this 3B and this 2B? It means 2 billion parameters. Literally, it has that amount of information within its storage, its memory, its mind, its data set, as things it can reference and answer questions to.
So who feeds it?
Now, that is an interesting question. With the AI, people want to know who feeds it. I would tell you, it works in the same way as your search engine prior. The search engine, which is the World Wide Web, send bots out there. And there's the spiders crawling on your webpage, gathering every piece of information. So the same thing with the AI. The AI is now training itself on all the information that's publicly available. If you were to have some form of private information within a business structure that never went on the internet, the AI would never know about it.
Okay.
You understand? One of the things I think people misunderstand when they use AI is that it is going to give you the most perfect answer. They usually warn you right at the bottom of every AI conversation that it can sometimes hallucinate and information will be 100% accurate. Okay. There are multiple different AI platforms out there, and people keep asking like, which one's the best to use? Should I use ChatGPT? Should I use I forgot its name, Copilot for MSN? Should I use Gemini from Google? Should I use Grok? So there's so many different forms of AI, and you keep asking yourself which one is best to use. I personally don't reference anyone as the best.
Okay.
I do make a recommendation for people that in the education sector to use one I call Perplexity.
Complexity.
All right, because I think Perplexity became the one challengeable platform to Google. They actually trying recently. They made a request to buy Google Chrome, which is the browser which a lot of people use to access their Gmail. Because most time when you get a computer, you have something called Microsoft Edge. But with Google Chrome, it's run by Google. They have access to almost every search you make on a regular basis. They index this and they sell it to the advertisers. But because the fact that recently, well, not recent, but there was a case penned about them for sharing information of people that went into incognito mode. Now, what is incognito? You hear this term.
Yeah,
And
we had to get to that. But yeah.
yeah, incognito is literally what we call private browsing. So when you have your computer and you're using Google Chrome and you say,
Well, so that is the part where we hiding something. We have a caller.
okay, go ahead.
All right. Good evening, caller. You're live. DBS Radio. Get empowered.
Could you? This is a brilliant discussion. I'm listening to it, basically because as an undergraduate at the University of Windsor, I was reading artificial intelligence since 1989. It was a strange thing.
Okay.
So
We're having an issue with yeah. Go ahead, Stein.
You having an issue with the?
Yeah. Go. Just keep speaking. Yeah, because we.
Yeah, but certainly a very good. Okay, let me just be brief. I was just thinking, somebody wants to get onto AI. Do they type openai.com? Like, tell somebody how to get to it, so they can begin to experiment. Because from the time you get into that space, you can begin to ask questions. Just type in questions and learn stuff. But brilliant stuff. Because of the nature of the line, but this is wonderful discussion. So thank you very much. I'm listening.
Thanks, Stein. Have a good one. All
right. Okay, to answer the question, where do you go to access AI? The easiest one I would tell you right now, I would probably recommend.
Well, AI is a general term.
Yes.
But then you have the various platforms within AI.
So this is where I was getting. Because there are so many platforms out there, all now playing a race. Every week there's some new form of AI being adopted or introduced, and everybody's trying to say that their AI is the best.
Right.
But practically some of them are just containers wrapped around some previous AI platform or system. Somebody piggybacking someone. So we call this models, actually, AI models. Okay. So there are different AI models available, and different people try to make their own as a very copy of it because they want to say, I want to be custom.
Right.
So basically right now I would probably recommend, if somebody just wanted to find out more about how to use AI, open Google. Go to www.google.com, and the first search you do, it will be an AI response. At the top of it, it will give you an AI summary based on what you responded to.
You can do it. Give us an example on screen.
Let's see if I can. Okay.
If it's possible.
I can.
All right.
Let me just.
I usually joke with Auntie when I get bigger, I want to be like some people. I guess when I get bigger, I want to be like that, man.
You know what? Let me do it on your computer because I don't want to switch too much. So
okay.
I will do this. I will add, and let me see if I can. Is it doing it? Okay, yeah.
All right.
Go to desktop, Chrome, Windows graphics capture. Got you. So I go in and switch off. I just realized we have things in the browser there that Let me go on Google. All right, so it disappeared. Okay. All right, so this is supposed to go out live. Let me just switch off. Okay. So right now I'm in Google. So
Okay.
what we wanna look for is what are the best options for, is it chocolate chip cookies? So this is the regular Google.
Hold on. Are you typing or you just saying it and you type?
I know I'm typing.
Okay, because you that's
So normally you can do that, but I'm
Alright.
actually typing. So
Alright.
what are the best options for chocolate chip
chip
cookies? So now I can click Google search,
Uh-huh.
but right now you see this little one here in color.
Oh, yeah.
Says
AI
AI
mode.
mode.
Yes.
So I want to show the search first. So you see it comes here in the search, but this AI overview is based on AI giving you a search and then giving you a format that follows what you actually asked about. Now, if I click on AI mode, as opposed to the main page as it were, it will also open AI mode, where you can now have a conversation about what you're asking about, and you can follow through with additional questions or additional iterations, as we call it.
All right, it look like we got another caller.
All right, so I'm going to switch back to us.
All right. Good evening, DBS Radio. Get empowered. You're live.
Just a quick thought. Could they just do openai.com in the Google search, like openai.com? Would that be okay too? And then you see the place where you can ask the question. So anybody who has their phone or a laptop, they could just do openai.com. Is that possible also?
Not exactly. You can do Chat GPT. So it's like CHAT GPT, G as in Gerard, and P as in Philip, and T as in Tom, and .com. And when you reach there, it will allow you to ask, I think, 2 questions without you asking you to sign up or log in and create an account.
Okay.
I was making mention of Perplexity earlier. Perplexity is usually one I usually recommend it to students because it gives you the option to have citations. When you're doing something where you don't know the source of the information you're getting, you have to ask the validity of it. Is it accurate? Is it something that I can trust?
Right.
You cannot just take any information you get from artificial intelligence.
Yes.
And say that it's 100% accurate, authentic. So I usually tell people to use platforms that have citations. Now, ChatGPT has recently upgraded and does give you the option to tell you about where you source the information from. But I've always just recommended Google because ChatGPT usually has limitations for free accounts unless you want to pay a subscription to use it. Now, each of these platforms with AI, they're all built with the focus of making money. So each of them have different values. So you have one for business, you will have one for creatives, you will have one for finance, but you also have to understand what each platform is utilized for the best. If you're looking for research, I'll tell you stay on Gemini. If you're looking for business responses to create job letters, resumes, I'll tell you go on ChatGPT for OpenAI. Okay. You know, if you want to do automation and other services, I'll tell you go on Copilot from MSN. Okay. And so it has all these different platforms, and learning them as time goes along is something which I think people can take some time into get into. But here's where I'm going to do a little slight entertainment. We reaching the 9 o'clock hour. It's not an entertainment to say.
All right, people. Let me just say, as we get in this slight entertainment, it's 2 minutes. It's 2 minutes to 9 or a minute to 9. You are listening to Get Empowered. My name is Michael Jacques. My guest is Nichols Dennis. He's the web administrator here at DBS Radio, and we're just looking at the virtual platform and learning our children how, as parents, we can stay in pace with them, and stuff like that. So, yes, go ahead with the entertainment. Is it going to be live entertainment? Elijah and the Whispering Stone. Okay.
Yeah, so as we were talking about children, so I wanted to come back to this. Yeah. I used AI to do this. So normally my son doesn't want to sleep. And I was like, okay, you know what? I want to tell him a story. No, normally he likes Jack and the Beanstalk. So I tried that, but I was like, okay, you know what? I want to tell him a story that has his name in it. I want him to tell a story that has Dominica in it. I want to tell him a story that has Dominica locations in it. So I said to myself, let me ask the AI to make a story based on this.
Seriously.
So this is rather long, but I don't know if I should play the whole thing. So it's
How long is it? 3 minutes?
3 minutes.
That's all right. No, that's like a song.
All right. So I'm going computer 2 is up.
Yes, and it's open. Yeah.
So I'm going to switch it across. So you should hear it as soon as I go across. 1, 2, 3.
Elijah and the Whispering Stone. On the island of Dominica, the nature isle, lived a boy named Elijah. He didn't just live on the island, he listened to it. He heard whispers in the rustling leaves of the gommier trees and felt the deep, steady heartbeat of the land beneath his bare feet. From his favorite spot under a giant mango tree, he would gaze at the green mountains, feeling they had secrets to share. One afternoon, his grandmother, Ma Pompo, sat with him on their porch. "The island has a soul, Eli," she said, her voice as soft as the evening breeze. She told him stories of the first people, the Kalinago, and the spirits that dwelled in the rivers and peaks. She placed a necklace around his neck, a single smooth gray stone polished by the Layou River. "This will help you understand its heart," she whispered. The next morning, the stone on Elijah's chest felt warm. A strange path, one he'd never noticed before, opened up before him in the forest. He followed it, drawn by a feeling of adventure. Suddenly, a Jacques parrot with feathers of emerald and sapphire landed on a vine. "This way, son of the soil," the parrot squawked. "The mountain is waiting for you." The Jacques led Elijah to the magnificent Trafalgar Falls. But today, the twin streams of water shimmered with a light he had never seen. Where the mother and father falls met, the mist swirled into a glowing doorway. "They welcome you," the parrot said. "Step through and see the island's true self." Taking a deep breath, Elijah stepped through the mist. He was standing at the foot of Morne Trois Pitons, but the three peaks glowed with a soft, gentle light. From the mountain itself, a figure emerged, tall and ancient, made of living rock and moss. "You carry the river's memory," its voice rumbled like shifting earth. "You have come to learn." The mountain spirit led him to a place he knew as the Boiling Lake. But now, it was a swirling cauldron of liquid history. In the rising steam, Elijah saw amazing visions. Kalinago warriors paddling carved canoes, brave African ancestors planting gardens, and the vibrant birth of Creole music and dance. Their next stop was the Emerald Pool. The water glowed with a light so pure and green it seemed alive. The Jacques parrot reappeared, landing on a fern. "Touch the water," it chirped. As Elijah dipped his fingers in, the pool showed him a vision of the island's future. Strong, healthy forests, and people working together to protect their home. The spirit lifted him high into the air until he could see all of Freshwater Lake below. From this height, he could see all the rivers and streams flowing from the mountains into the lake like shining veins. "From the high peaks to the deep sea, all is one," the spirit's voice echoed. "This is your heritage, Elijah. The land is your family." Finally, he found himself in a quiet clearing. Around a crackling fire, smoky, graceful figures danced. They were the spirits of his Kalinago ancestors. They didn't speak, but Elijah felt their message in his heart. A story of strength, survival, and a deep, unbreakable love for their island, Waitukubuli. Just like that, Elijah was back under his mango tree. The sun was setting, painting the sky in orange and purple. The stone necklace was cool against his skin. He heard one last squawk from the Jacques parrot as it flew across the sky. Elijah looked at the mountains and the forest, and he smiled. He was not just a boy on an island. The island was a part of him. He was a guardian of its nature, its culture, and its magic.
Wow.
All right.
So you created that?
Yeah, so we were just lying on the bed, and I picked up my phone. I said, okay, I want to write a story for you. Your name is Elijah. I want the story. I mean, I can actually tell you. Give me a second. if I opened my app on my phone, I'm going to open it. Could actually show it on the screen, but just give me a second. And I'm going to go to Elijah and the Whispering Stone. So I said, create a story for my son Elijah that talks about the nature island Dominica. Make it adventurous and mythical, filled with multiple island wonders that are tied to real places in the island of Dominica. The storyline is focused on heritage, culture, and nature.
That's what you put.
That's exactly what I put, and it says, I've created a story for your son Elijah about the beautiful island of Dominica. It's an adventurous and mythical tale that explores the island's wonders, heritage, and culture, and it's written for a reader who is 8 years old. I changed it twice. No, I didn't change it at all. That was it. So yeah, so it gave me that output. I can literally create a story for you. Let me see if I should. You want me to create one and show you how? Or you want to talk about something else? You can go ahead.
Well, the thing is,
I don't want to run your time.
No,
because
I've already engaged you for a part 2. So
yeah,
the thing about it,
we can show that.
The thing about it, we school is opening next week, and we want to provide a certain level of guideline for parents going in ahead of school. So they, to be forewarned is to be forearmed. To have information ahead of time. It's that when I was growing up to school, my mother particularly couldn't read and write.
Okay.
But my mother could open my book and say, "How come you have more wrong than right?" So she, even if she didn't see and understand everything, if she see a tick, she knows and so it's right. If she see an X, she knows it was wrong. So she's like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 X, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, this. What happened? Even if she does not understand what is there.
Yeah.
But she can say, look, you got more wrong than right, or you got more right than wrong. You got to do better.
Yeah.
All right. We, within the virtual space, within all of that kind of platforms and all of that stuff, we want to at least help parents, to keep pace. They may not understand everything about it, but to keep pace with their students, whatever age, we have the young and we have various. They can outsmart us. I was having a conversation with a school teacher last week, and she told me of certain things, because even you expose the children to these gadgets, all right, they are now exploring it. They are that's for them what my having my football and going on the playing field and learning how to kick using different sides of my foot to create certain things. They now have this thing and they are exploring. I sometimes afraid, because I feel if I do something I might mess that up. But they are, what I've learned is you can always go back. You can always, so they are exploring without fear. Right? I know here on Get Empowered, we want to now empower them, to parents particularly, so that they are not lost in the woods, while the children, checking the city and doing all that kind of stuff and doing, we want to be in pace. So the basic things we can give our children, our parents, and stuff like that, in understanding the learning platforms of the children.
Yeah.
All right. How can we do that? And then you mentioned the Incognito. All right. You were going there and stuff like that, because if I take my phone won't be on the screen now.
Yeah.
But if you put yours, and let's say I go on Google.
Yeah.
And I just hit Google, and the search part, I just tap on search. It gives me my history. So right there I see the story of the Good Samaritan in the Bible. That's one thing I said. What is the suicide rate of pastors? Because I was at a thing, and then I heard about the suicide rate of pastors, so I wanted to know.
Yeah.
And then it have grow, so I have a couple of things here, West Indies cricket, a whole lot. It gives my history. So of all what I have gone through in recent time on my thing. I'm learning that incognito, you can actually hide all that. Is that correct? So that a child
Generally,
can do things and the parents don't know.
generally, incognito mode does prevent anything from being saved.
Saved
So, like most of your recent searches will not be saved.
like this.
But that is only when you close incognito completely. So if you open incognito on your phone like right now, and you search for something, and then you close the app, like you just minimize it and go to WhatsApp.
Okay.
You're probably thinking, okay, that was it. Nothing I did incognito was there.
All right.
But if you go back to Chrome, and you will have two options. You will have regular Chrome tabs, and it will have incognito tabs.
Okay.
Your incognito tab could still be open.
Okay.
So somebody could see what possibly was the last search you have. Even if they don't open the full message, they could see it. But generally, your history of what you're searching for will not be saved.
Okay.
But the last active
activity
tab could be references. Somebody could see that. But for children are very perceptive. They will find a way to hide something they don't want their parents to see. Generally, if you have parental control options on devices that you give your children, you have the ability to restrict what they can access.
So you now advise every parent should have the parental control.
Generally, when it depends on the age of the child too. But yes, I would say having parental control over your child's device when the child is not over 16 years old, it should be something that you actually emphasize on. I don't want to say you want to restrict them, because some children might feel is like at a certain age, like 12, 14, that it's their device, they own it. But I mean, you're paying for it, you're giving it to the child, you're empowering them to have this device. You monitoring what they're doing is some part of your responsibility as well. Right. So having some form of parental control to devices are one way of tracking it to see what the children are doing. But to say they're looking for certain things and you have full control over what the child is doing, there is no foolproof way to do that.
There is no full control.
No. If you're at your home and you really want to be technical about this, you could say, like, you could have a technical person restrict what type of websites a child can access at certain times.
Okay.
Like, I have a telecoms provider internet at my home.
What?
A telecoms provider. I don't say the name.
Okay. Okay.
So I have a telecoms provider at my home right now, and if I log into my internet router,
Okay.
and I go into the security tab, and then I search for MAC filter settings, or I think it's MAC filtering. MAC means like the MAC address of a device.
Right, yeah.
Every device has a specific address.
Right.
Every phone has a thing which you call IME, and these IDs are tagged to that one specific device.
Right.
So if I say, I put a filter, say YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and I say from this time period of 3 to 5 o'clock or 3 to 7 o'clock, I want you to access this. After that period, cut it off.
Okay.
So when I tell them go and read a book or go to sleep at that time, it's that time.
They can't go on it.
They can't go on it. So if I'm not home to myself and I say I want to restrict the child from actually accessing those type of websites at a certain time, you can restrict it.
Okay.
Now, if they are data, that's a different thing, you know. But if they are home Wi-Fi, you can have that from their computers, their laptops, and so on. So it's really being vigilant on what type of control you give them.
Okay.
That's why I say parental control would still be something I'd emphasize, because
Okay.
then you can then monitor what the child does. But that becomes a little bit more technical in that, so parents would still have to have some form of digital literacy training, or go in someone that actually has the ability to do that for them, to give them that form of assistance and guidance.
Okay.
That is where I would suggest that. For things like WhatsApp and possibly other social media platforms, children can hide certain factors of what they're doing, and possibly for your social media, I would recommend all parents have an account with their child, but no child under the age of 13 years should have a social media account.
But I mean, you had that conversation with me prior, that before we got on air, that the social media platform actually would, by virtue of the information you put in, block a child that's under
A certain
age. All right, but then with because it doesn't ask for your birth certificate, and doesn't ask for
no validation.
No validation. You can type in, so it's possible for our children to pose as 25 when they are 5, when they are 6 or 7.
We've had this issue quite a few over the years where children would, I would say teenagers would put themselves as 18 years old and they are literally 14 years old, just to gain access to having the platform. And parents may not even notice that. So people having your daughter on Facebook saying she's 18, she posting pictures, she doing whatever she wants, attractive or engaging with different individuals that not her age group, and that has caused issues.
Right. We got a call on the line, so let's take this. DBS Radio, get empowered your life.
My last thought for the night, Jacques. Usually when we discuss artificial intelligence and those things in a group, we usually have a discussion on the ethics of it. You cannot talk about artificial intelligence without talking about its ethical implications. It's two questions I had. Probably one, is there a difference between artificial intelligence and natural intelligence? It's part of the discussion. So I thought I'd throw that up, but this has been brilliant. I think you should do that again a bit more. It will allow people to better understand the world that they live in. But the difference between the natural and the artificial forms of intelligence, we reflect on that also as persons. Thank you.
Very powerful. Thanks much. Then. Yeah. All right. I like that question.
Yes.
Because I have not really gone into. I'm a thinker. I'm a natural thinker. A lot of what I put out, I birth it. I think it. I read a lot. I read and do, but I'm a thinker. And I think maybe that's what he is related to, the natural intelligence and utilizing your mind. I learned recently that I can actually get a full sermon on AI. Full sermon. You know what I mean?
Church sermon?
For church.
Or word for word of what you should say.
Well, you could just get a sermon. I'm not sure what it is because I've never tried it.
Okay.
I've never gone there, and I doubt I will ever go there. I build everything. I build my sermon. I build it.
Because it's personalized with a lot of characteristics of what you want the message to encompass.
Right. So I build it. I mean, I walk with my, like Sunday, I start to walk with what I am thinking. So as I'm going around, I'm thinking. I'm using my phone. I'm chopping records. I do that. That's how I build it. So it's not. I can't see myself making somebody do that for me because it's personal. I'm not sure if that, when Stein speak here about the natural intelligence against artificial intelligence, if that's where he's going. But can we now say that AI could take away our ability to process thought, to think, to develop thought?
Okay. To go with that question, here's what I will tell you. AI has been, or AI models, more or less, have been adapting to a process of thinking and reasoning.
They're adapting to that.
Yes. So at first, you'd normally have a query where you would ask AI or any type of chat model a question. It would just pause. You'd see some loading characteristics. You don't know what it's doing, but it's doing something in the background, researching. But in general now, you would see if you use some form of chat GPT or any type of Gemini or different model to say thinking. Then it will have another one where you can say, I think you could select a different model because this type of question is very specific. It will say reasoning. Right?
Okay.
Now, if you're doing some form of research paper, it will have one where it says deep research. So you have different levels where AI has been are being selective in what it calls, what the type of output it wants to give. Now, trying to specify that these models given this type of information in comparison to an individual who has knowledgeable
cognitive ability,
right, knowledge in a specific field or specialization or professional field, it's not on that level as yet to my understanding. I have seen it doing very close comparisons to some forms of PhD level research or PhD level of reasoning. Like, I'll give a suggestion. It's not for this topic, right? But there was Parliament not too long ago.
All right.
And someone asked me, can I use AI to research Parliament? So I went and I downloaded every single Parliament document that I had, and I put it into the AI, and then I said, based on this, and this, give me this output. Think yourself as a PhD level economist, blah, 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 blah. So the AI gave me some information out. I didn't really make this public or share it, but I know based on this, it following a certain path. So you can
challenge it. Is that the right thing to say? You could challenge it intelligence.
I don't want to say challenge it. We call this steering.
Steering. Okay.
It's a form where you have a master prompt. Normally, when you iterate to a chat, you can give it a generic prompt, and you can give it more specifications. Every time you add a comma, it's something where you say, I want to more specify. It's like if I created an image, like a AI image, first thing I have to characterize is the scene. The scene is going to be on the beach.
Okay.
There's going to be a woman walking. I'm going to say she's going to be pausing after 3 paces, and then she will be turning around and she'll smile and wave her hand. So each time I say that, there's a different iteration or different thought process. So it calculates this, and I say the camera shows to follow or the camera shows to stay still. You have to put all those different specifications when you're making a prompt. However, we have the steering method where I would put a master prompt or system prompt prior to even entering anything. So I would say to myself, I can put this information here into this prompt, and I want it to follow all these guidelines. So like right now, I have my own chat AI system. So in it, I have as a digital entrepreneur or think as a remote worker, all the specifications I want it to follow. And anytime I ask a question, it only supposed to follow this. It's not supposed to go and deviate and do anything else. And that steering now makes it even more specific to the type of thought I want it to give me or the output I want it to give me. So yeah, you can steer AI, but to say that it has the ability to recognize and give you the output as a regular individual with a profession, it's not there as yet. In my understanding, it comes close, but it is just referencing something that somebody else has already done.
Right.
That's what it does.
So it for us, like he was mentioning, the artificial against natural intelligence. For us, we can reason, we can analyze, we could do all of that. We can project. We could, out of thought rather than something that's programmed. So I could become creative in my thinking. I could become creative in developing some stuff.
Yeah.
AI, you're saying, doesn't have that creative ability in developing something outside of what it's programmed with.
Yeah. So AI, there are some models. I keep saying models because there are different variations in the artificial intelligence space, where they are given the ability to just deviate a little bit.
Okay.
So they said most times you ask a question. I think this is one of the reasons why OpenAI, which recently upgraded from Open ChatGPT 4, ChatGPT 4.1 to ChatGPT 5, where it was saying that a lot of times you give it a specification and it will just go on and on and on and on and on. Instead of just sticking on topic, you would have to say, don't change this aspect. I want you to stay in line with this. So that was how it was actually structured. It was there to make suggestive improvements to whatever a person would to request, even if the person did not request it. So yeah, it doesn't stay online a lot of the times, and you now have to adapt to what it's saying and then still reinforcing. Sometimes you become frustrated.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. And that came from the question. So let's see how we could come back on. But as we're speaking, I've got an iPhone, and
Okay.
I'm just looking at, I open Google. I'm in WhatsApp. All right.
Is it the blue icon
Well,
at the bottom right?
Yeah, I see. Seen this?
I know what icon are there.
Right. So, and then it has here, ask Meta AI or search. So that will now tell me, am I now going to ask Meta AI to do the search for me, or am I now going to just type in what I want? Is that what it's? That's the whole thing there. And then the blue thing here, I've never kind of checked it out.
You never tap it?
No.
Okay. That is like your personal assistant.
Okay.
Originally, Meta AI AI assistant was placed into, I think, Messenger chat, and which is the Meta's chat for Facebook and a lot of these other platforms, Instagram and so on. But there was a issue that presented itself where a lot of the information and chats that was shared within the AI was leaked publicly. So they made a lot of restraint to it to put it down. But that AI within your WhatsApp right now, that is there as a personal assistant. So if you say to yourself, are you having a discussion about football, or you're having a discussion about cricket, and you want to ask, okay, who scored whatever during that ever time in 1995?
Okay.
The AI would then go and research it without you leaving WhatsApp and going into Chrome or to another browser. So that's the form of assistance it's supposed to give you. It's not really there to really monitor your chats and archive information and monitor what you're doing. However, for the conspiracy theorists outside there, there are a lot of these AI models, if you have them installed on your phone, they are background processes. So they literally run in the background of your device. Oh. So what happens is, if you ever have a mention about, I want to go to the supermarket and I want to buy some milk, it will speak. And then when you when you go and open your social media platform or your search engine, you just see milk. You say to yourself, wait, I was just talking about that. Sometimes people think it, and they open the social media and they're saying it. But in general, any form of background application that is running on your device, it monitors what you're saying.
Wow.
So I think iPhones have a little bit more restriction right now. Yeah. Me personally, for my Android phone, I usually say only run this application or only allow my microphone while I have the app open, while using the app. So if I minimize the app, my microphone should be disabled. So normally when you click microphone in like WhatsApp or any of these applications, it's going to ask you this first thing. The first time you install it, the first time you use it, they're going to ask you, do you want to always give it access or only while using the app?
Okay.
If you click while using the app, it doesn't monitor what you're doing.
Okay.
The same thing for Alexa or any of the applications. If you say you want to have Alexa app open and you're in the kitchen and you say, Alexa, play DBS radio, it will monitor that point. But if you say you want to minimize it, you don't want to utilize it at that point in time, and you don't want it to run as a background process, then it wouldn't do that. Okay. But to go back to the target of where we were talking about social media for children and parents monitoring, I think one of the key things, especially with WhatsApp, that a parent could possibly consider is when a child has WhatsApp and you have them on WhatsApp, there's a thing called location sharing.
Location sharing.
Yeah, location sharing. So if you say to yourself, I sent my son or sent my daughter to school, they have afternoon class at 2, but it's now 4 o'clock and I'm seeing them in Canefield. I mean, you don't live in Canefield. Why are you in Canefield? They didn't tell me they're going to Canefield. You would now know on your WhatsApp where they are once they have the live location on you. It doesn't have it in Google, because I was surprised to me the other day, because I didn't use Google Live Location. It's a direct feature in your Android phone. I'm not too sure how it is on iPhone. So it actually tracked the entire path I did from Roseau to Canefield to go and pick up a package and come back to town. And it's showing me the time and when I did this right there on your live location. So it's literally built into your Android phone. If you go under settings and you go live location, so if you're turning it off, parents, you know where to go and turn it on.
But then someone you would have to take the person's phone and do that.
Generally, when you have your phone set up the first time, you always have to create a Gmail account for Android.
No, I'm saying for someone to share your location. For a parent to now know the movement of a child, you would have to take the child phone and synchronize it to or set it up to hook up with your phone. Is that what you're saying?
Half and half. I said the service is there, but if you want to monitor it, Google by itself have a email delegation service where instead of logging into an account multiple times, there's a way to delegate an account access to the account. So from that delegation, I can just be at my laptop, log into an email, even if I don't have the password, I'm not using that account, go on the live location, and I could just see the entire location of the child.
So are you telling me without my consent?
As a child?
Well, as a child, because that is going a little deep, because let's look at a guy dating a girl, or a man and his wife, or a wife and a husband, or whatever it is.
Okay, you see, on the personal level.
Right, because of what you're saying.
But I was sticking to the topic.
Right, no, but I'm just looking at, because the thing is, sometimes little things present themselves that grabs your attention. you know?
Okay.
We're looking at that. I'm just looking at, that's why maybe some persons say, I don't like it because it's spying on me. You understand? So you're telling me I could be on my computer, if I know my wife's email address.
Well, what I was saying is, this you would actually have to go on the account of that user and delegate access to the other account.
Okay, all right.
You know, so it's the person would know the account is delegated access to, but I just don't have to log in.
Okay.
To your account, because normally when you log into an account on a separate device, you go and load the user on the phone and say, someone's trying to log into your account, please enter this code.
Right.
But if you delegate access to the account, like a parent delegated access to the account, you can literally go and look at the live location for that account,
all right.
And then you could see where the child is and what they're doing at what time.
All right. So we're saying we're going all there to say part of the whole process of school, part of the process of your child is you can now have active monitoring.
Active monitoring.
Right.
So you have active monitoring from the virtual platforms we talked earlier for getting email notifications, following on what the child is progress through the platforms, logging into it on a weekly basis. If you can't do it every day, that's fine, but just do it on a weekly basis. I was going to try and talk about CXC because I know that's a concern.
We're coming back.
But,
so we'll just take a note of what we didn't.
So, but with that, you have that form of active monitoring, because we're talking about virtual platforms and the internet. While it's a very vast and a very big way where you can have a lot of opportunity, there's a lot of threats on the internet. It's not just about virus. It's not about scams. Identity theft. There's a lot of things where we have people that can do things without your attention or without you knowing that could be harmful to your child.
Okay.
You may feel to yourself, I trust this individual, that's fine with that individual, but then knowing, okay, do you monitor the conversations you have? Could you monitor the conversations that you have? Should you monitor the conversations you have? And all of this comes into play with these virtual platforms, where I feel that as a parent, once they're under 16 years old, when they're over that, maybe you can say, okay, you're a grown person, you can do what you want. But as a parent under 16 years old, you should have active monitoring.
But that would be now with this, because we creating a differentiation here with our virtual learning platform and our social media platform. Right. All right. So we first wanted to look at because I mean they work together. I feel there's a marriage.
Yeah.
Because our children's ability to learn, because you have the same device. That's why I tell persons sometime at church. All right, I've been at church walking, and pass by some persons. The preacher is speaking, and they have their phone because I'm taking my notes on my phone. That's what some people would say to you.
Yeah.
All right, because on my phone I have an app that says notes. Okay, so I could take notes on my phone. They have their phone, and you want to think they're taking notes. But I've walked around and seen people on Facebook, on other things, that they're engaging themselves because maybe things popping up and all of that. So you could be within a learning space. I'm just using that point.
Yeah.
You could be within a learning space on a platform of the learning, but with the device you also are connected to social media. All right, and a social media. So like I've disengaged my notification with Facebook on my phone. I have this Facebook, all of the platforms. I have, I've turned them off, except for email, sometimes because an important email. So email, but everything else, I turn off notification.
Yeah.
So I don't get notification for Facebook. I don't get notification for certain things. All right. ESPN and sports, I turn off all these notifications. So because they could be a distraction.
Yeah.
Within the virtual learning. So I am there learning on a Google Meet, and then oops, something pop. That's basically where the conflict happens. That's why you're saying no. A parent could do certain thing to safeguard that with the child.
Yeah. The distraction of notifications while a child have focus on their learning process. That is an account by account basis control.
An account by account.
So literally having Facebook, having WhatsApp, having Instagram, having TikTok, having Twitter, X, YouTube, all these platforms comes with notifications. You can one by one disable them, yes. I personally just keep the notifications in the app. Like when they ask me where do I want to keep the notifications, I only want the notifications in the app. So when I open the app, I see the notifications.
Okay.
I don't turn them off completely. As a parent, I would not be able to say they can micromanage all of that. There's no real way to really micromanage all of that. As I was saying, is possibly you could limit access to certain platforms at certain times if they're home on Wi-Fi, but outside of that, there's no real way to control.
On data, it's not possible
to control that. No, there's no, because you would literally have to log into each of your child's account and tell them to turn that off or do that, but then they can go back and turn it on.
Right.
So it's kind of defeating the purpose of you doing that form of monitoring.
They become a slave in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, we have to find different ways to get them engaged more nonetheless, because if they are going to be very active or proactive individuals that growing their minds for the world out there, you have to set some form of structure in. Okay. So this is one of the reasons why when you have the secondary learning with these platforms, which you have the ability to register to for children or for teenagers, it's very good if you create some people would say a vision board, or at least a work schedule, a school schedule, where you actually know, okay, so from Monday next week, all children going back to school. Oh, this is the schedule I wanted to follow daily. Then you have an idea of what they're supposed to be doing at that time.
But Nicholas, I look at it as I want to call it the CC. I want to call it that and explain what I would call the children and their community. When I talk about children and their community, their peers within their space, and the challenge of teachers, because I had a conversation with a teacher on Saturday, and what they say within their community, they introduce each other to things. They go into things and stuff like that. So you could have that community working against the timetable you want to set, the schedule you want to set. It now becomes a parental responsibility and a child and parent relationship matter that says, look, this is what I want you to do because of. No, we're not there to talk about parenting in that sense.
Yeah.
All right, we're talking about the platform. But I'm just sharing to say that that's a challenge parents have.
Yeah.
Because outside of our teaching them, they are taught, in other places.
Yeah.
I would not be naive as a father to think all of my daughter's learning came from me. I am not naive to say all of the people I passed the learning comes from me. They tap into other things. They tap into communities. They
make their sole decision.
Precisely, and they eat in other pastures. They eat in, you know what I mean? So that's a challenge. All right, but we are saying to parents, there are things you can do, and what you just suggest is set up. School is opening on Monday. Do something now. Start.
Yeah. As I say, is active monitoring is possibly the best case scenario, and finding the ways of how you can do this active monitoring. I know children wouldn't like the idea of having their location being monitored regularly, what they're doing, where they're going, but that is, as a parent, you can enforce that onto your child. You will have to say, if you don't have your location services on, I don't know where you're doing, what time you're doing. You don't even have to look at it every day. But at the end of the week, you can, because they can't edit it. They can't change the location where they want, where they were at the same time. They can turn it off or they can turn it on. And with that, you can also just say to yourself, you're supposed to be at school. Just send a message. Why are you there and not at school?
Okay.
So you can do this straight through WhatsApp.
Okay.
You can do this straight through Facebook.
Okay.
You can do this straight through Google. So you have these options there. And while people are classified it as more like a relationship thing, because you're tracking where your couple or your other significant other is, as a parent, that might be more beneficial to you.
Right. So you want to take us through the quick step on how to do that? As a parent listening, maybe just tuning the quick step in how you can maybe work with your child. Because I believe in not manipulating. I believe in the building of the relationship. So before I do that, if I should now take on the pastor's cap, whatever cap, and say, okay, school is opening on Monday. Let's have a little conversation about school, about where we're going to be. And these are some things we're going to establish. These are some things I'm going to be doing. Let me have your feedback on it as a parent. But I want your feedback, but these are some things we're going to do. So one of the things I'm going to be doing is with active monitoring. All right? Because I don't think you should maybe sneak up, just maybe do it. That's basically one of my
they're supposed to know.
Precisely. So
I'm going to be monitoring.
Right. So have that kind of conversation.
Yeah.
This is, so I am doing it for varied reasons. You're in that kind of space we live in our world, it's dangerous. All right? It's dangerous. You have persons that have intentions that are not healthy. Yeah. And I want to protect you. So if I should piggyback, I have one child, and sometimes, someone check. I would say, look, this is all I have. This is all I have. At her age, I won't do that kind of stuff. But I tell her sometimes, you are all I have. So guard what you do. Be careful with what you do. Be careful with where you go. Because it's just you alone I have. That's all. I mean, in terms of a child, and the conversation, I believe, should be important before doing that. All right. So I think you are looking at now how you're going to show it on screen. How are we going to do that? No, you're just going to run.
You see, this is more of. I mean, there is a step to could do this. Like on iPhone, they say open. There's a app generally built in for when you lose your device.
Right.
You want to find this. They want to find this app.
Yes.
And there is this app for, I think, both in iPhone and in Google Store called Find My App or Find My Phone.
Mm-hmm.
For Google, is usually on Google Maps, which is installed by default on every Android phone. It has location sharing, which you can enable from opening the account. So you tap on the profile, tap to location sharing.
That's on an Android.
That's an Android. But if you have Google Maps on the iPhone, I think it should be, but I don't particularly use it, so I can't say.
You're not an iPhone fellow?
Not right now. I mean, I was at a point in time, but not right now. So you can tap your profile picture, go to location sharing, tap new share. You can indicate location sharing, but it's under the profile settings for any Google account. If you go to settings on your Android phone and you look for location sharing services, you want to turn on location sharing, you can turn it on, and you can enter the email account which you want to share the location with. All right. But as I was saying, because this is as a device option default, a parent will have to dedicate access to an account. So you say, okay, I give you this phone. This is your phone for school. You're going to use it to call me when you need me to get a ride. You're going to use it to send messages. You're going to use it for your schoolwork. The email account on it is ... at gmail.com, right? Under that account, you log into the account and you go you click the profile picture on the top right, click settings. Let me just see if I can get this. It's really...
If it's a long process, we could always work on it.
We can always work on it.
Right. So maybe we can just go back to how best to aid. We have about 14 minutes.
Yeah.
How best to aid our children with the platforms. So school's gonna start, and that kind of thing. You mentioned the notifications that you could say to the school when you're sending homework. You would have to give them
email forwarding, email copy.
Right.
So literally, you want to reinforce that you don't want to have a copy. Some parents already by default get a copy of the emails as a parent. I think the teachers usually copy it.
Okay.
But if you're not actively getting that, you want to say that I want to have a copy of every email that's being forwarded to my child.
Okay.
So you can give them the dedicated email address so you can follow through to ensure that the child does the schoolwork.
Right.
Also, based on the platform the child is using, you need to get a little bit familiar with it yourself.
Right.
So you need to know what part is coursework and which areas that they have actually completed, because usually it has a progress chart. So the progress chart follows between active lessons and progress lessons and completed lessons. And that's usually the Google Classroom. I was saying I don't know specifically what MOE uses. If they use the Google Classroom currently, I know that was active during the time of COVID, but I can't say right now what they actively using. So that might be an option to become a little bit more familiar with the school.
Ministry of Education.
With Ministry of Education.
But if a teacher is listening, you could most be, without giving a whole lot of information, just maybe educate us and just drop a message. I send this to a couple of teachers, so that they could think. So if you're a teacher and you're listening, you can maybe just send me a message and let us know what is the platform.
Yeah, the platform that they use.
So, because it's just empowering parents, and it's not going into the Ministry of Education business. So you could maybe just send me a quick note that let me know this is what Ministry of Education is using.
Yeah. All right. So that's it for just this platform, because as I was saying, there are a lot of platforms. It's easier to get more access to platforms as a parent for younger children below the ages of 10.
Okay.
So if you're children in toddler, younger stages, kindergarten, primary school, there are a lot more platforms available, as I was mentioning, from Khan Academy to PBS Kids. Some things are region restricted to us, but those they are really open, and it's really active from what you grew up with to be able to say like, okay, I can get my child to have this type of coursework. There are a lot of other recommendations. You can always just do a regular search to say like if you have a focus on what type of area you want your child to develop in, you can ask that. In the technology space, as with the utilization of artificial intelligence, there are possibly, I think, Google will be the number one platform for helping with conversation because of its live conversation feature for actually mathematics and English and science and business and chemistry subjects.
Okay.
So there are a lot of help right now. What I normally do if I don't know an answer for something and I'm looking for some research information, I normally just take a picture of it. You can normally just take a picture of it, feed it to the AI chat, and ask it to be more descriptive about what this actually is.
Wow. Okay.
If you want to find information about asking it to explain an issue, like if you say you see an issue with something like something's broken, something's not working, what are the possible causes for this to have this issue? It is this type of model. I have it, had it for this amount of time. It started doing this, and this is what happened next. So you put this type of messages into the chat, and the chat will give you the responses based on that input.
Wow.
Because one of the things you need to understand is with the amount of things that have happened, it usually has happened already to someone else.
Yes.
So it has that data set within the AI's reference library or knowledge base as something that has already happened. So it already has a response. It's not that it knows. It references something that already happened before.
I can tell somebody, if somebody did it, it's on YouTube. For example, if somebody fixed something, so if this foam, if there's a major issue and this came with the mic or whatever happened, and somebody put it together, a number of persons put it together, one person would have, uploaded or downloaded on YouTube or whatever it is. So you would have seen that.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the virtual space and virtual world in there.
I think one of the platform I really wanted to recommend was the CXC Professional Learning Institute, which is PLI -lms.cxc.org.
Okay.
So this platform they put in place to have a lot of courses for mathematics, English, different subjects. It's available for students already, so you can just create an account when you go to the link. And I think I'll just post the link. I'll post the link in the comments on the social media.
Oh, okay.
All right. So anybody who wants to get it. But generally, you go to this platform. I registered for it this afternoon just to verify, because before we start a platform like Flow Study was one of the platforms that was very avid for like over, I think, 10 years, where people will go and they'll follow on high school coursework. Right now we have a thing called Caribbeans.ai, which is like get instant answers and be more productive for primary, secondary, CSEC and CAPE and university level examinations. You can try it out. They have access to past papers, and what it does is it has a library, a knowledge base of all the past papers for CXC and for other exams.
Okay.
And if you ask a question based on that exam, or a question, it will give you the reference and give you the workings to actually tell you about how that response was supposed to be given or how the solution was supposed to be given. If I go and do one last search, because let me just bring it in before we run into closing time. So it's an ad really, but I will, let me see, how long is this? I want to do the one for 2 minutes and 17 seconds. I'm going to pause it here on my end, copy it, and I'm going to come to you. Sorry, I'm doing so much tonight. All right. Take it out to go on radio. Okay. All right. Okay. Hold on. So this is going to be most likely available in 2026.
Okay.
This is provided by Google called Project Astra, and it's exploring the future of learning with AI, tutoring, research, prototype. And we're going to just put it on live, okay?
All right, go ahead.
So let me just take out the captions.
Can you help me out with question number 39 here?
Of course. Is this the problem?
Yes, I don't really understand what to do here.
No problem. Let's take this to the blackboard. The key concept here is optical isomerism.
Got it. But how can I tell if an isomer is optically active?
Optically active compounds require a chiral carbon atom. A chiral carbon is one that is bonded to 4 different groups.
Okay, awesome. That makes sense. So how do I apply that to solve this problem?
Let me walk you through the steps to solve this problem.
Okay, got it. Let me find the structures first.
Sure, no worries. Feel free to show me when you're done.
I found 4 carbon chain structures. Is that correct?
Close, but not quite. There are 4 structures, but you've made a small mistake in the 3rd structure. Can you check your work again?
I can't actually find the mistake. Can you show it to me?
For sure. You added an extra hydrogen bond to the 2nd carbon atom. I'm circling it now.
Oh, okay. Good catch. That's actually really helpful. Thank you. So I think this is where the chiral center is. Can you confirm?
Yes, here is the chiral center. Well done.
Remember the optically active isomer problem we were working on? Can you show me what the 2 chiral molecules actually look like?
Sure. Have a look at the molecular structure. I've created the molecular structures of the 2 optically active isomers, also known as enantiomers of 2-bromobutane.
Thanks for all your help, Astra.
So that was using the phone camera with the notebook or the notepad or the textbook, and you like almost is that you just video?
It's like your live AI tutor. So literally, it has a live session available. You can use your camera, or you can use like screen capture of your current screen, and you can follow what you're doing until you give instructions. Currently, it's available with Google. So if you go into Google AI Studio, you can say that I've started a live session, a live real-time session. Share my webcam, or to share my live screen, and it follows whatever I have on screen. Okay. So if I want to help with a certain subject, I can say, "Can you explain this to me?"
Okay.
I do explain to you to help you. It becomes a guide. So instead of saying it replaces the teacher in the classroom, it becomes a secondary guide. Right. So you can say you can follow with your teacher tomorrow to get more structured information, but this is what we believe will help you. Okay. So I say Google is probably one of the platforms that closest with education right now for development, especially with artificial intelligence.
Oh,
yeah.
It's startling.
Yeah.
I know it is that type of thing. We're about to wrap up time, and it was an awesome conversation.
Yeah.
It was an awesome conversation. I have got some good reviews and feedback from folks listening, and I'm not sure what it is on the
social media
of DBS, but on my WhatsApp, and stuff like that, I have some good reviews and feedback. So we want to thank all of you listeners for that, and I just truly want to thank you, Nicole, for the information tonight. They were just amazing, and we got to follow up. Look at your schedule and let me know if next. As it's fresh, we hit the hammer. Today's the 2nd. If you're available on the 9th, I have guests on the 16th.
Okay.
So in two weeks, I have guests, But next week I don't have anyone. So if it fits your calendar, we can maybe go more into, because you said something that is adultish, but in understanding AI.
Yeah.
And even in also helping our students, because school will have just opened and stuff like that. So we would want to just continue to empower parents and students. So we will encourage the young ones to listen, because it will help them. It's not just about creating barriers and having our parents become police over there, and spy over the children in terms of every move they make, because you really will enslave yourself if you try to do that. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't run after my child every move onto that. You go frustrate yourself, So it's about guiding. It's about building honesty in your child. It's about helping them, help you, in the whole process. So thank you so much. I'm not sure if you have final words and parting words. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I will be at Think Outside the Box.
Someone is giving us a call.
Okay,
Good
guys.
evening, Get Empowered DBS Radio.
When you come back next week, I would like you to chat a little about AI and the visually impaired. I use screen readers.
Okay.
And just the talking. I think that would be quite interesting for those persons who have some forms of disability, particularly those who are blind, and how the sites and how people navigate. It would be very interesting if you could make that input. But man, it was a wonderful discussion. I think you did amazing. You communicated well. You were calm. That's great. So thank you very much. Thank you. Goodbye.
Appreciate it, Stein. Always a pleasure, and I thank you for your input and your continued stuff.
Yeah.
Let's keep the connection, and you could always drop me any suggestions for the discussion on my phone 276-5656. That's Stein. You could take that number down, 276-5656, and you could drop me because we're developing the idea. So any even line of questioning, we'd appreciate that, so we could be we could empower the people. All right, so appreciate it.
What I was saying, Pastor, like on this Saturday is my birthday, but I will.
Happy birthday in advance.
Thank you. I'll be giving half my day, literally, to Dominica Young Entrepreneurs Club.
Okay.
As they're going to be doing a Think Outside the Box symposium at UE Open Campus. It'll be from 11 a.m. to 5, and there will be different panelists speaking, and I will be speaking on AI for a better world, how young entrepreneurs can use AI for a better business. So I have been trying to structure this presentation a little bit more for the business sector, the individuals in Dominica, and how they can actually do a lot more for a lot less.
Okay.
Because I think that is one of the biggest hurdle that we have to go across, like challenge yourself to do more with less. And using AI, you can do a lot of automation processes, because that's what it does. So if you're interested, we'll be at UE on Saturday at 11. It's Think Outside the Box. They are on Facebook, Dominica Young Entrepreneurs Club. I will share their flyer again after this program on DBS Facebook page.
It's free. It's
an open. There's a registration, so I can share the thing, so you can actually just register.
Okay.
I believe there's an additional cost. There could be something additional, but I have not been referenced on that. And we will be carrying it on DBS on Saturday, hopefully, God willing. We'll be carrying it for the opening ceremony, so people can hear a little bit about it on DBS. So that's it. So, but I'll be willing to come back, as Stein made a request, and I already have a solution in my mind about what is taking, because I was trying to really tackle a lot for education, but there's so many different layers for education for this discussion tonight. But I wanted to give it in a more layman's approach, because if people hear this for the first time, be like, what is this? What is AI? And I don't want to talk like in a lot of tech jargon that a lot of people didn't understand.
Right.
So
You did a good job.
Okay, well, thanks for that.
And you actually eliminated some of my fears.
Yeah.
I had certain apprehensions and fears and stuff like that. Some of them were taken care of. It makes me, not that I'm going to use AI for certain things, because like I said, I'm a thinker, a natural thinker. I like to stimulate my thoughts.
Yeah.
There are a couple of things I will not make artificial intelligence do for me.
But
I will tap into the tool.
I mean, I use the tool regularly. Sometimes people even think of it a little bit too much. They say from webmaster to AI master. But
you're a fanatic in that sense?
I wouldn't say that per se, but I like to push some things to the maximum potential I can use it.
All right. Yeah.
I as a person that always try to find the answers to problems, I deal a lot of redundancy as a technical person. So I like to find solutions to problems, and using AI in a form where it can provide me answers to a lot of more things which I'm not available to, I haven't been available to, is assisting me. And right now it's more about automation with this whole thing. So everywhere on the internet you hear a lot about AI doing this, AI doing that, AI making videos, AI doing this, but you more should just focus on how it can assist you to give you back more time.
All right. So let me ask you a quick question. Give me a quick answer. If you want to develop next time, we could. What trouble can one get with AI? In the process, what trouble? What kind of trouble can AI put you in? If there is any, you could quick answer or say, all right, I will deal with that next time. That's not a problem.
Quick answer would be, it could help. It could give you wrong information about things that could possibly cause you harm.
Okay.
That would be it. So like medical advice, all this type of like personal, like business, financial advice, which is not something that's recommended. You still have to do your due diligence.
Right.
So that is the one problem it can cause you. So you don't want to take a risk and put your money in everything and say like, yeah, I want to become a millionaire because I hear a bunch of YouTubers saying about they can make money with AI.
Okay.
So that's the biggest concern I think a lot of people need to understand about it.
All right. Appreciate it, Nico. And looking forward to, Stein already tell you next week. So you want to listen to Stein, I can tell you that, all right?
Yeah, it's okay.
You have to listen. So Stein, thanks for doing that. But like I said, next week is open and we will dig deeper into that. I invited my church people members of the congregation I pastor to listen. I invited my fellow pastors to listen, so I put that on our
once it's a wider topic about something that just the children, then I can probably go in a little bit more detail.
Well, we can between ourselves look at formulating a guide for next time.
Okay, no problem.
So we can do that together.
Okay.
All right, but really, I truly appreciate it, and you did that at short notice. Because I was thinking about something on the weekend and I did call you. So I truly appreciate it, at short notice. So thanks much.
No problem.
And continue to be a genius, man.
All right, thanks, man.
Continue to be a genius. Thanks again. All right. So, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, friends, this is Get Empowered for tonight. All right? Yeah. So yes, and Get Empowered, we seek to empower you, make you better, not bitter, seek to help you find a reason. And hope tonight we were able to empower you to find a reason why you should connect with the virtual space and artificial intelligence and just become better. Thank you so much.
Let not your